We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Daily Dish. My name is Candace Cooper. I'm your host for all things conspiracy, pop culture, crime, apparently, from what's going on lately. But welcome back, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm so thrilled to be here. I have 2 bars on my light panel, so we'll see how long it gets me. But the sun is going down. Doesn't matter. I still have to show up and chat with you. This is like 3-day-old hair, but it's still looking okay. I hope you all had an awesome weekend. I had a really great weekend. I got to MC for an Arizona high tea event at the foothills of the Superstition Mountains. And I talked for 3 hours-ish on the microphone. It was such a good time. It was rain or shine, and my friend Bree, Bree Vega, she puts on all of these really cool events in Arizona. So if you're in Arizona and you're a woman and you want to come to like a really cool high tea, keep your eyes peeled for AZ high tea events on the gram. It was so cool, so fun. I have so much respect for the Superstition Mountains. I have so much respect for mountains in general, but especially when it comes to the Superstition Mountains. Another thing that's really interesting is I've been thinking a lot about places that we end up moving and how like random that can be sometimes. And then like there are places that you want to go, but that you never have like the opportunity or you never get there. I've been to the Superstition Mountains about 5 times in the last 8 months. I don't know what keeps calling me out that way, but something keeps calling me out in that direction. It's very cool. It's very haunted. It's very old right now. And when I say old, I shouldn't really say old. It's a lot of like retirement communities. It's more like mature, quieter people, which is like kind of where I'm at in my life. I've just been really thinking about that because even when I lived in Brooklyn, there were parts of Brooklyn that I really wanted to live in and move to. But then I ended up moving to other parts of Brooklyn. So I was like, it's so interesting how we could really want to go somewhere or be somewhere. And then life is like, nope, we're going to put you right here. And like, I've been in Arizona for 3.5 years. And I'm just like noticing the places that I keep continuously getting called to. It's super interesting to me. And if you're wondering what I'm drinking, I get the organic coffee from Trader Joe's now and the pistachio milk with a little bit of agave and some ice cubes in my old Anthropologie cup. I love it. The pair to it broke, unfortunately, so I only have one left, and I know that there's like a little hairline crack in it somewhere. But that's why I use a straw. So, where should we start? I have a lot of stuff on here, a lot. Let's just start with the most relevant, which is the Nickelodeon child star scandal and all of these weird, creepy, perverted dudes who worked at Nickelodeon. It's crazy. We all know that I was a child actor. I auditioned at Nickelodeon a number of times and I never booked anything. When you're a kid, you're really bummed out. Even though being an actor really does teach you perspective, because like at a young age, you have to learn to philosophize and say like, that's okay that that little girl booked the commercial. If there's a commercial that's meant for me, there will be a commercial that comes up and is meant for me. But, of course you want to just book the job. Now, 30 years later, we're able to see, wow, a lot of those guys, thank God I didn't work on that set. Who knows what would have happened to me, right? It's just so crazy, fucked up, and disturbing because I love the movie Lost Boys and I love Corey Haim. He was so darling. Like, he was a darling kid. He was like boyishly cute. And he reminds me, my little brother, reminds me of like Seth Rogen, Corey Haim, and there's like a few other actors. Fred Armisen, my brother, reminds me so much. But it's like this boyish, adorable charm, you know, effortlessly funny, charisma. So knowing what they did to Corey Haim and then watching what he ended up becoming later in life could actually move me to tears if I think about it long enough, because he was such a wonderful entertainer and actor if things would have only just been different. And I totally believe his claims about Charlie Sheen. 100%. 100%. But Nickelodeon, I think it's really important now to take a deeper look at things that make you uncomfortable. Like there were things that I was watching on Netflix a few years ago and I was like, wait, why does it have to go here? Now I don't even have Netflix anymore, but there was like this post-apocalyptic show and it was just like, I was like, why do these scenes need to be in here to get the point across, right? So I think we're all starting to wake up and we're all starting to reject this weird subliminal conditioning of things that are inappropriate, but they're presenting them on TV, movies, or whatever as appropriate. Well, they're fucking not, okay? And we're catching on now. Poor Amanda Bynes. She doesn't even look like the same fucking person. Like, every once in a while, you could see a glimmer of Amanda in her face, but when they do the videos of her on the Amanda Show to what she is now, this trauma warped this girl's features. And when your parents used to say to you when you were little, keep making that face, it's going to stay that way, that's what they mean. It really literally does stay that way. We'll talk about that with Brittany from the Valley in a second. But Drake Bell has come out against these people. And one of the guys had like a pen pal relationship with John Wayne Gacy, who was like the weird clown person who was a serial killer, and was showing off this signed self-portrait that Gacy sent him to the kids and the parents. And I can only imagine how uncomfortable it must feel, you know, as, especially in the 90s, especially 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like, I don't think people were as brave as they are now. And like, even if you did have an inclination, like, something doesn't feel right, this feels off, what are you going to say? And who are you going to say it to? Because it seems like they were all working with each other in this sick, perverted way. So the higher ups, there is no higher up. They would just say like, oh, wow, that's weird, you know, because they're all buddies. The older I get, and you know, it's so funny because when I was little, my mom was like, Candace, I really don't think that you're going to like Hollywood, or like, she's like, I really just don't think that you're going to like, and I was like, so determined to be a successful actor and model. I just couldn't even conceptualize what she was trying to tell me because I was 10 years old. How was I going to understand the level and depth of corruption? You know, even though I was like a pretty savvy kid and I could see through a lot of stuff, only as I got older and moved to LA and lived in Hollywood did I realize, whoa, this is way above my pay grade. Like, I'm in over my head. I just didn't feel safe in Hollywood. You know, I just didn't feel safe. And I think that a lot of my instincts now, you know, leaving Hollywood and leaving the industry, even though it took me 20 years to leave, I'm so thankful and grateful that I was able to get out, and I'm so thankful and grateful that they never saw me as having like enough star potential or whatever to groom me in that way. Now, we all know the music video that I did for the French couple, and I was 12, and they did ask me in 1996 if I would do a topless scene for the music video that was going to air in Europe. And my mom and I were really pretty much taken aback by that even being on the table as a 12-year-old, right? We thought about it and we said no. I did shoot the music video. They like modified the scene a little bit, but looking back on that, it was 150 million% an act of seeing where we fell on the scale of desperateness to be in the industry and to be successful and accepted. So I think that there were probably a lot of different times that little stuff, they were gauging where me and my mom and my family were on how far they would let me go to be a successful actor or model. So that's my own little, but nothing ever happened. So I don't know. Not that I don't know. I believe that these things happen to Amanda Bynes. I believe these children, and I believe these child actors, previous child actors. I believe Corey Feldman. I always did. I believe Corey Haim 100%. So yes, we do know this was rampant in the industry. And I'm sure it still is now. They're just a little bit more careful and less brazen. So, word to the wise, be careful if you want your kids in the industry. Penelope Francis. Come on. Jeff, now this is fucking nuts, you guys. Okay. P. Diddy's house got raided 2 days ago now, I think. He ditched his sons and got on a private jet and went to some island that doesn't have extradition to the United States. But his sons, he left. Why would you not take the sons? They're never going to forgive you. What's crazy is, who is it on Jeff Lewis who was talking about them staying at P. Diddy's house recently? This was in like the last 2 months. I cannot for the life of me remember the guest that was on Jeff Lewis Live talking about staying at P. Diddy's house. But oh my God, that's the thing about Hollywood, even New York. It's like a very small world. It's a small town. So everybody does know everybody, and in a weird, gross way, everybody is scratching everybody else's back, and it's 6 degrees of separation, probably 3 degrees of separation. And the fact that it touches Jeff Lewis in that weird way, I was just like, wow, it's right next to you at all times. Not saying Jeff Lewis, but I'm saying he could have gone to P. Diddy's house. Not saying that he would ever partake in anything like that, but just going to the house, not a good look, JL. And I think the most disgusting thing that's been, brought to light in the last year, this has happened since eternity, people doing horrible things to children. The fact that we're finally getting some arrests, especially in terms of Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, them going to jail, watching bits and pieces of that evidence, and looking at the footage of the children, their skin and bones. I have faith that the people in the jails are going to do exactly what they think needs to be done to Jodi and Ruby. Listening to the phone calls of Ruby to her husband, Kevin. Is Kevin on heroin? allegedly, because he is so lethargic, slow to answer, meek sounding. And she's trying to tell him adults won't understand having to torture evil out of a child. So does a child understand that? The fact that two people found each other, like I can't even find a guy that I want to date. And then looking at all of these people in the world and all this crime and how many people pair up together, or it's a big group who conspire against one person, it's like, what the fuck is going on? You know, and I know we're just all beaten down and thinking that like evil is prevailing. And the last 4 years since 2020, it's been just like the most disgusting representation of humanity on earth in all in my lifetime. The Holocaust since recent lifetime. But watching the videos, watching the body cam footage of them, the cops finding those children and in the condition that they found those children in, like I couldn't even watch a lot of it. And then seeing the house and the room that they were kept in, dear Lord, those children are going to have nightmares forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And I want to say they can heal. So let's not project onto them that they'll never heal. They actually can heal. But holy fuck, what these women did to them. Now, the husband said that Jody and Ruby ended up sleeping in the same bed together. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, did these two sick fucks torture these children and then go upstairs and fucking scissor sister it up as like a turn on to them? Like, to me, all of these weird little pieces of like torturing the children, sleeping together, demon, evil, all this stuff, I'm like, these two women were like banging each other, thinking about the torture that they did to these children. Like, I think that it got them off sexually. They are so sick and fucking weird. Let me know in the comments below if you also think that they tortured these children and went upstairs and scissored it up because they were like, oh yeah. Like, that is what I see in my mind. Like, it had to be sexually motivated. Because it's so fucking weird. I hope that the people in jail give them exactly what they deserve. Kate Middleton, she's gone, bro. She's gone. They're saying cancer. Nah, I'm saying clone. I'm saying they're cloning her. Because, listen, there was a woman on TikTok and she was so funny. She goes, I'm a photographer, but I'm also autistic. She goes, I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I know this video of Kate Middleton is fake. And she broke it down step by step. But before I even watched that video, when I had watched the original video of Kate, I was like, that doesn't seem like a human being talking. The pauses were a little weird. Just like, we all know what her skin looks like. We all know what her face looks like. We all know, like, how she stands, how she leans, how she holds her head. Like, we have seen her nonstop for the last 15 years on our phones, TVs, camera, everything. So to then try to release an AI video of her and like have us think like we're seeing the real Kate, you got to be fucking kidding me. Could she possibly have cancer and not be well enough to do a video, but they wanted to put something out? That could be a possibility. Could it be a possibility that she's passed? What's crazy is that both Kate and Charles are battling cancer. And somebody else had a video on TikTok the other day where they mapped out like what cancer is in the body, and it's resentment. And I'm telling you right now, my ex-husband's grandmother was riddled with cancer. And I said, if she would have just told people exactly what she thought, she would have had a lot less cancer. And when we got to her funeral, they said the woman never had a bad word to say about anyone. And I said, praise Jesus. That's exactly what I said. She should have told him to kick fucking rocks and she would have had less cancer. It just is what it is. Like, I lost my ovary from having a giant cyst on it when I was 15. I had severe eczema all over my fingers and had to figure out why it was attacking my middle finger. Like, we have to go. I know we just want to be like, well, that's how it is, but it really is a mind, body, soul experience here on this earth. So Kate has, been a wonderful, if not Stepfordish wife, example of a wife, a like flawless royal. And maybe she's like resented that as her destiny. So who knows? But the fact that Charles also is battling cancer, if you're an astrology follower, you'll know that our astrologer friends have been talking about this a lot, saying that it's going to be a very short reign for Charles and he's going to abdicate the throne to somebody else, not necessarily William. We will see, unsure. But I definitely know that that video of Kate Middleton is fake. Vanderpump Rules. Oh my God. What even fucking happened on Vanderpump Rules? I literally just watched it. What do we have going on? Sheena got a babysitter. Brock loves high heels. Katie is a drip. Ariana, we know that Ariana just bought a $1.6 million home in the Hollywood Hills. I believe she's not in the Valley anymore, so she's stepping it on up. And Sandoval is probably going to end up, Jax is going to move in. Schwartz is going to move in. Joe is going to move in. Billy Lee is going to move in. And they're just going to be a big old ragtag bunch of fucking old, washed up reality stars living together. Now, I do want to say the Valley is everything that I ever wanted and needed, and I knew it. And I love Janet and her husband. They're giving that essence of first season Kardashian, first few seasons Vanderpump, first few seasons of Real Housewives of New York, right? They're giving authentic. They look beautiful, but they're not overdone. We must all be in that same age group where there's no fillers or like I'm sure they have Botox and stuff like that and boob jobs, I'm sure. But they still look like human beings, like they look like individuals, all of them. And I think that that's what we're craving. Kids who are like 10 years younger than me, I think girls 10 years younger, maybe they were influenced by like Bratz dolls and stuff like that, but it's like the lips and the this and the that, whereas the 40-year-olds, like even Kristen, she looks like a regular 40-year-old woman. And as much as I might say like she didn't really age great, well, she smoked cigarettes and drank coffee all day. So, like how many vitamins is Kristen taking? She must have magic poontang though, because she could fucking bag them. But I find so much comfort in the way that these people look. They just look like regular fucking people. Now, if we're going to talk about looks, don't come for me. Brittany, I think that Jax has taken a toll on Brittany's face because her mouth is pointing like downwards and it's giving, I don't have any teeth in my head. It's giving, I like am from the deep south and chew on like a stalk of, grass or something. But the way she holds her face, and I really genuinely think it's because of Jax. Like I think that he's so probably annoying to her and dismissive to her that her face has taken on like a permanent downward Like the corners of her mouth are like this. It's crazy. It's fucking nuts. She just looks, I know that when she ditches Jax, she's going to look amazing because the same thing happened to Katie. She was getting really heavy. And now, like, this toxic body positivity bullshit is got to go, okay? We don't feel good when we're 30 pounds overweight. We don't. You're not making healthy decisions. What we could say is, give me grace. I might need a year or 2 or 3 to be just like a little bit chubby. Cool. Okay, fine. But like, don't be like, yeah, I'm so positive. Like, I just eat junk food all fucking day. Like, no. Okay, that's psychotic. So don't do that. But I could just see Brittany. She needs to get like a sleek bob. She needs to take those horrible, big, gross titties out. And she needs to go on like a cleanse of some sort. Because looking at her, just as like a Reiki person myself, so many blockages in her body, like so much tension, so many blockages, heavy, 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 heavy. And she just looks thick and heavy and fluffy. And I guarantee you, if she does leave Jax, she should take those boobs out, get a fucking haircut, get a personal trainer, and get the fuck away from him because he is sucking the life out of her and he looks fine. This is like exactly what happened to Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. He's alive. He looks fine. He turned her into a fucking crackhead and she done smoked her kneecaps off. So, ladies, please stop it. Like, stop being with these men because you think like you need a man. And then they end up sucking the fucking life out of you and making you look terrible. Look at Ariana. She looks 10,000 times better than she did when she was with Sandoval. Although I really would love for her to wash her fucking hair once in a while. It's been dirty for 10 seasons and it drives me crazy. Like, give me a double clarifying shampoo on that girl, please. Stat. Summer House is wild. Lindsay is a fucking psychopath. She called Carl Cocaine Carl. Are you fucking kidding me? Pew pew. Shots fired. Shots launched. Like, how could she say that and think that she's ever gonna like walk down an aisle with this man? It took him 3 months of being berated by her. And we all, I am not the only one who said this because I've seen it on the internet as well. I don't think Carl likes women. There, said it. Because in season 1 or 2 or whatever it was, I think it was season 1, there was some sort of controversy with Steven. And I think that he fooled around with Steven or did something with Steven, or Steven had said that he did something with another man. But I really don't think that Carl is a heterosexual man. I think that Carl is struggling with his sexual identity, which was why he ended up indulging in drugs and alcohol to try to numb that part of himself because, I don't know, I guess he doesn't want to accept it. You know, it's giving Kyle vibes. She's been hetero for so long, she feels like, how could I possibly go and be, you know, batting for the other team? And I think that that's probably how Carl feels too. You know, we don't know what, like, we don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Carl is also struggling with his sexual identity? My vote is yes, he is. I love Sierra and West. If they don't work out, holla at your girl, West. That's right. I do want to say Craig's conversation with Kyle and how Craig was like, yeah, you know, like if it doesn't work out with Paige, it doesn't work out with Paige. Craig is the prototype for the man that we all want. Austin is a knockoff of Craig. But Craig has like the dad, but Craig and West, those two guys, they are the blueprint for what every woman wants. They're a little bit sensitive, a little bit quirky. They're not poor. They got the dad bod. They're a little thick. Like that, I'm telling every guy right now, that is the kind of man that we want. It's the kind of man that I want. I have the biggest crush on Craig and West. I'll never meet either one of them, but that's the kind of guy that I want to date. And if I don't get that kind of guy, I don't want to fucking date anyone. No one. On to Giggly Squad, since we're talking about Summer House and Craig. Paige is so spicy lately. She said that she likes to see the happiness drain out of men's faces. I was like, oh my God. She's such a fucking Scorpio. She is such a Scorpio. And she always says, and it's like, I don't know. She's like, yeah, there are girls that I'm just like, I fucking hate you. And I'm like, I wonder if she's seen my TikToks and she fucking hates me. Like, blink twice if it's me that you hate. But I like them. But I also am going to be very honest about what I see. And sometimes I feel like Hannah's a little bit jealous of Paige because Paige is really beautiful and she's really funny too. And Hannah is kind of like goofy. Okay. And sometimes I hear like a little bit of like snark in Hannah's voice, but I think that Paige probably has never had like a super, super, super best friend where she's doing like a podcast with them. And I can see Paige really reaching out more and clinging more to Hannah than Hannah would to Paige. Because when you're a really pretty girl, it's so hard to find like really good girlfriends. And I think that Paige is really pretty. And she probably wants to hold on to her friendship with Hannah. Which is great because I love them together. And I want to continue to listen to them, you know, on Giggly Squad forever and ever and ever. And I think we all love being gigglers. But I am going to be honest. So I call it how I see it. So Paige, if it's me that you hate, let me know. Feel like that Daily Dish bitch. I fucking hate her. It's tough out there. I'm telling you. So almost done with my coffee. I cooked my dinner already. I cooked a beautiful steak. I have Romanesco that I'm going to make. And I gave my dog Iggy 2 radishes. Great minerals. Wonderful for you. So that's what he was snacking on. I'm going to feed the girls and go for an evening walk after dinner and just like have a great night. Also, I do want to say I am in the fucking grips of perimenopause. It's a wonderful ride. I'm so excited to be on it. And I'm using wild yam cream. I know there's Anna's wild yam cream that a lot of people say alleviates perimenopause symptoms. I've been using it day and night on the insides of my arms, legs, behind my knees, belly, back, switching the areas that I've been putting it in, because that's what Barbara O'Neill said to do. I would say I'm going to take 3 months before I could really make like an accurate assessment if it's helping or not. But, perimenopause, it's going to happen. Let's manage it together. You let me know what you're doing for your symptoms. What do I do for my symptoms? I wake up with the sun. I go to bed with the sun. I eat seasonally. I weight train 3 times a week. I walk almost every single day. I try to keep low stress. I cut out alcohol and, maybe I'll go back. Maybe I won't. I cut it out for Lent because I like to go out to bars, but I don't like to drink. And so I was able to go out to bars and people were like, do you want to drink? And I was like, nope, can't Lent. So I was able to socialize and have fun and be around people without them pressuring me to have a drink. So I've cut out alcohol. I take chlorella and chlorophyll. I'm not cutting out caffeine. I'm just not. What else? B vitamins. I take, what do I take? I take bee pollen. So that's like a complete B vitamin. I take a little bit of mineralized sea salt for, because I think it provides like 82 of the 101 minerals that we need. I know sea moss is also really great. I took my very first shot of sea moss the other day and it was wonderful. It tasted like bland. It was more like the consistency I didn't like, but sea moss is wonderful for you. Don't overwhelm your system with different things. I also incorporated ginseng into my daily vitamin list as well. I just find that ginseng helps me focus and makes me feel really clear. And just like the focus part really, really helps. For me, I've noticed that the ginseng, I'm not a doctor, so check with your doctor before you do any of this. But I've noticed that the ginseng helps me even more than the mushroom blends, like the lion's mane and all of that stuff. So I find that the ginseng tincture works better. Also be very, very careful. You don't want to mix things. And of course, I take a probiotic every day too. But be careful about which things that you mix, because some of them might not be compatible with your day-to-day medications. Always check with your physician or naturopath or pharmacist if you can, and they'll tell you if there's like a little conflict. Like, you're not supposed to drink grapefruit juice if you're on antibiotics or whatever. You know what I mean? So I keep it super simple. I assess every day, and I'm taking some time off from the gels. There is a girl on TikTok who has really bad periodontal dermatitis, and she said that it's caused by the gel. Like, she said that one of the causes could be the gel nail polish. So I'm just taking like a little break, giving my nails like a little breather. And they're recovering. I'm going to make my own nail oil. We'll see how that works. And that's what I'm doing for my perimenopausal symptoms. We do what we can, where we can, how we can. It is what it is. But let me know in the comments below what you think about these topics. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Candace Cooper, and you're watching The Daily Dish, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.